When planning an exciting trip in your golden years, it's easy to focus on the sights and experiences ahead, but few seniors consider what's silently happening inside their veins during those long travel hours. Deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, is a serious condition that occurs when a blood clot forms in the deep veins of your legs, usually after extended periods of immobility such as long-haul flights or bus rides. For seniors over 70, the risk of developing DVT increases significantly due to age-related circulatory changes, slower blood flow, and underlying health conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes. The problem is, most people don't notice a clot forming until it becomes a medical emergency, especially when that clot breaks off and travels to the lungs, causing a potentially fatal pulmonary embolism. The World Health Organization has identified long-distance travel, especially flights over 4 hours, as a major contributor to clot formation in at-risk populations, which includes most people over 70. One of the key reasons seniors are more vulnerable to DVT is the natural thickening of blood with age, combined with lower hydration levels. Many older adults also take medications that alter blood viscosity or reduce mobility, further amplifying the risk. Extended periods of sitting without stretching, combined with pressurized cabin environments in airplanes, can slow circulation even more. One major study from the American College of Cardiology found that air travel doubles the risk of developing a DVT, with the danger being even higher in older adults with other cardiovascular issues. And unfortunately, a common myth persists that DVT only affects people with pre-existing vascular disease, leading many otherwise healthy seniors to underestimate the threat. So what can you do? Prevention is absolutely possible and should be taken seriously. Start by consulting your doctor before your trip, especially if you're on medications like hormone therapy, blood thinners, or have a history of clotting disorders. Wearing compression socks during flights or long rides can significantly reduce the pooling of blood in your legs by promoting better circulation. These socks aren't just for people with varicose veins. They're a frontline defense for every traveler over 70. Equally important is moving every hour. Even if you're confined to your seat, ankle rolls, calf raises, and seated marches can stimulate blood flow. When possible, walk up and down the aisle even if just once every hour. Staying hydrated is another crucial factor. Dehydration thickens your blood and slows circulation, which is why you should drink water consistently and avoid alcohol or caffeine on travel days, both of which act as diuretics. If your doctor permits, taking a baby aspirin before travel may also help reduce clotting risk, though this should never be done without professional guidance. Some seniors choose aisle seats specifically for easy access to walk and stretch, a small decision that can make a life-saving difference. Travel pillows that elevate your legs or support optimal posture can also play a role in circulation management, especially during overnight travel when movement is naturally reduced. It's worth noting that DVT isn't always obvious. Some signs include swelling in one leg, cramping, warmth, or a reddish hue to the skin. In the middle of a journey, these might be easy to ignore or chalk up to regular travel fatigue, but they should be taken seriously. If you're traveling abroad, learn to say essential medical terms in the local language or carry a translation card that explains your condition and any medications you use. Additionally, consider carrying a brief letter from your doctor, especially if you use injectable medications like anticoagulants or wear medical devices. Having this documentation can save time and confusion in a foreign hospital setting. Remember, traveling after 70 doesn't mean you have to avoid long-distance adventures altogether. It means you need to be more strategic, proactive, and well-prepared. Think of your travel planning as not just booking flights and accommodations, but also preparing your body and your health protocols. Preventing DVT is about more than comfort. It's about making sure your journey doesn't come with unseen, life-threatening consequences. You've earned the right to explore the world. Just make sure your body is fully supported to enjoy the ride. As we age, the immune system doesn't quite respond with the same vigor it once did. It becomes less agile, slower to react to new threats, and more prone to complications when it does. This natural decline in immune efficiency, known in medical literature as immunosenescence, is especially significant for seniors over the age of 70. And when travel enters the equation, the risk of exposure to new pathogens skyrockets. Whether you're passing through crowded airports, exploring bustling local markets, or simply adjusting to unfamiliar climates and cuisine. Every step of your journey brings new microbial challenges. Even something as simple as a handshake or touching a handrail in a foreign metro system can introduce bacteria and viruses your body has never encountered. While younger travelers may breeze through such encounters with minimal symptoms, older adults are more likely to experience severe outcomes, ranging from prolonged illness to hospitalization. The challenge isn't just the presence of germs, but how the older body responds to them. Studies from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have shown that respiratory infections such as pneumonia and influenza are far more deadly in individuals over 65. For travelers, this becomes particularly concerning when long-haul flights dry out the nasal passages, making it easier for airborne viruses to enter the system. Add jet lag, poor sleep, and travel stress to the mix, and the immune system's line of defense gets even weaker. On top of that, older adults often live with chronic conditions like diabetes, arthritis, or heart disease, which place further strain on the immune system and slow recovery time. These comorbidities increase the likelihood of complications from infections that might otherwise be considered minor in a younger individual. Water and food contamination is another serious threat, particularly in regions where sanitation standards differ from those at home. Seniors are more likely to suffer from severe dehydration and gastrointestinal distress after consuming contaminated food or water, which can escalate quickly into dangerous territory. Dehydration, in particular, affects the elderly more aggressively due to diminished thirst cues and existing medications like diuretics. A simple case of traveler's diarrhea can become debilitating if not treated promptly. Beyond that, some countries have endemic illnesses such as hepatitis A, typhoid, or dengue fever, all of which pose a greater threat to older travelers. It's not fear-mongering, it's biological reality. That's why pre-travel consultations with a doctor or travel medicine specialist are not optional. They're essential. A doctor can assess your destination, health history, and immune function to recommend appropriate vaccines and precautions. While some might already be up to date on standard immunizations like tetanus and influenza, travel to certain parts of the world may require additional protection, such as vaccines for yellow fever, hepatitis, or Japanese encephalitis. Seniors may also require different dosages or timelines for these vaccines, depending on their medical background. A robust vaccination plan, ideally started at least 4 to 6 weeks before departure, offers one of the best shields against serious infections. Hand hygiene may sound like a basic tip, but for seniors, it's a frontline defense. Always carry a high alcohol content hand sanitizer and use it frequently, especially after touching communal surfaces or handling money. Avoid touching your face in public places, as that's one of the fastest ways viruses enter the body. Additionally, consider packing antibacterial wipes to clean tray tables, remote controls, and doorknobs in hotels or rental accommodations. These surfaces are often overlooked by housekeeping and can harbor dangerous pathogens. Masks also still have a place in travel for the elderly, especially in crowded transportation hubs. While mask wearing has become less common in recent years, its protective benefits for older adults remain scientifically valid, particularly against airborne viruses during peak flu seasons or outbreaks. Your diet and hydration also directly influence your immune strength. During travel, try to avoid processed or overly salty snacks, and aim for fresh fruits and vegetables that are safe and properly washed. Avoid tap water in areas where it's not considered safe, even for brushing your teeth, and opt for sealed bottled water instead. Some travelers pack a portable water purifier or UV pen as an extra layer of protection. And if you take probiotics at home, consider continuing them during your travels. They support gut health, which in turn supports immune resilience. Sleep is the unsung hero of immune protection. Without enough rest, your body struggles to produce the proteins and cells it needs to fend off invaders. Jet lag, unfamiliar beds, or noisy environments can rob you of restorative sleep, so plan ahead. Pack earplugs, eye masks, or even a small white noise machine. If you have trouble sleeping on flights, consult your doctor in advance about safe options for travel-approved sleep aids. Don't wait until you're sick to think about protection. Make immune support part of your packing checklist, alongside supplements like vitamin D, zinc, and elderberry, all of which have demonstrated immune supportive properties in peer-reviewed research. Ultimately, the goal is not to instill fear but to prepare wisely. Seniors have every right to explore the world and create new memories. But these journeys must be supported by informed choices that reflect the reality of an aging immune system. With the right combination of prevention, preparation, and caution, travel can remain not only safe but enriching, opening the door to adventure without compromising health. The immune system might age, but with the right care, it doesn't have to falter when the world calls you to wander. For seniors, medications are more than daily routines. They are lifelines. A missed dose can affect everything from blood pressure to mental clarity, and a delay in access can lead to cascading health consequences. Yet when traveling, especially internationally or through rural areas, the systems that usually protect medication adherence can easily unravel. Imagine running out of a vital medication while overseas, only to discover that the local pharmacy doesn't carry it, or worse, that the formulation available is incompatible with your existing treatment plan. For travelers over 70, the management of prescription drugs becomes a high-stakes logistical challenge, one that demands foresight, precision, and an honest conversation with your healthcare provider before you pack your suitcase. Many seniors take multiple medications daily, a condition known as polypharmacy, which already comes with risks of drug interactions and side effects. Add time zone changes, disrupted eating schedules, and travel fatigue, and the balance becomes even more precarious. One of the most common travel mistakes older adults make is underestimating how quickly access to medication can become a crisis. In many countries, over-the-counter rules differ vastly, and prescriptions may be required for what would normally be a routine refill at home. On the other hand, medications that are tightly regulated or banned in your home country may be sold freely elsewhere, or vice versa. This is why a travel consultation with a doctor or pharmacist is vital before any trip. You'll need a full list of all your medications, including generic names, dosages, and the reasons for each prescription. This isn't just for your own clarity. It's crucial in case you need to seek emergency care abroad and cannot communicate easily. Language barriers and brand name differences can confuse even local doctors, especially if you rely on medications not commonly used in that country. One often overlooked factor is the impact of crossing time zones. Your body is on one clock, but your pill schedule may now fall in the middle of the night. Suddenly, you're deciding between waking at 3 a.m. to take your heart medication or adjusting your dose to match local time. Neither option is safe without guidance. Some medications must be taken at exact intervals to maintain stable blood levels, while others can tolerate a slight delay. A doctor or pharmacist can help you create a travel-specific dosing plan, one that accounts for time changes and ensures continuity. Skipping even a day of blood pressure medicine, blood thinners, or insulin can lead to severe complications, especially in high-stress travel environments where dehydration, fatigue, or elevated adrenaline levels can already throw the body off balance. Then there's the issue of storage. Many medications, especially insulin and some biologics, require refrigeration. Traveling through warm climates, staying in hotels with inconsistent amenities, or being delayed during transport can jeopardize the efficacy of these drugs. Portable medication coolers or refrigerated travel cases with ice packs are no longer luxuries, they're necessities. And don't rely solely on checking your meds into your luggage. Always carry essential medications in your hand luggage, preferably divided into multiple containers in case one is lost or damaged. The Transportation Security Administration, TSA, and most airport authorities allow necessary medications in reasonable quantities, including liquid medications, but they may require documentation or inspection. Carry a doctor's note and a printed medication list, and keep these in your carry-on bag for easy access. Medical emergencies, unfortunately, can strike even the most prepared travelers, and they often do so without warning. The elderly are more likely to suffer serious consequences from falls, heat stroke, foodborne illnesses, or sudden cardiac events, and response time can make all the difference. In unfamiliar settings, calling for help or navigating the local healthcare system can be deeply disorienting. That's why having a medical ID, either as a bracelet or a digital tag on your phone, is critical. It should include allergies, chronic conditions, medications, emergency contacts, and ideally your blood type. Additionally, travel insurance with emergency medical coverage is not optional for older travelers. Many countries will not provide care to foreigners without payment up front. And without insurance, a medical evacuation could cost tens of thousands of dollars. Look for policies that include coverage for pre-existing conditions and emergency repatriation, and always read the fine print. Another protective layer comes in the form of travel companions. While solo travel can be deeply rewarding, traveling with someone who understands your health needs can be a literal lifesaver. If traveling alone, make sure a friend or family member back home has your itinerary, hotel details, and a copy of your medical documents. There are also travel assistance services and apps specifically designed for seniors, offering 24/7 access to medical translators, local hospital guides, and emergency coordination. Some services even provide pre-trip medication packing tailored to your destination, ensuring you never run short due to unexpected delays or cancellations. Ultimately, the best defense is proactive organization. Don't just think about packing your medication. Think about safeguarding your ability to access and use it under any circumstance. From labeling pill containers in multiple languages to carrying extra doses in case of delays, the goal is not just comfort but survival. Health doesn't take a vacation, and neither should your vigilance. Travel can still be filled with joy, adventure, and memory-making at any age, but for seniors, the path to that joy is paved with preparation. With a carefully crafted medication strategy and an emergency plan in place, you won't just be hoping your health holds up, you'll be ensuring it does. Cognitive strain, disorientation, and the risk of travel-related delirium. As we age, the brain becomes more vulnerable to sudden changes in routine, environment, and physical stress, all of which are common ingredients in travel. For seniors over 70, these abrupt shifts can sometimes lead to more than just confusion or fatigue. They can trigger a condition known as travel-related delirium, a temporary but serious state of cognitive disruption that can be mistaken for dementia, stroke, or even a psychiatric episode. Delirium is characterized by sudden confusion, disorientation, memory lapses, difficulty focusing, and sometimes even hallucinations or paranoia. It's not just an issue of being tired from the trip. It's a medical condition linked to changes in the brain's chemistry and function, often brought on by stress, dehydration, unfamiliar environments, disrupted sleep, or new medications. And while delirium can affect anyone, it disproportionately impacts older adults due to age-related neurological vulnerability and decreased cognitive reserve. One of the most unsettling aspects of travel-related delirium is how quickly it can onset and how drastically it can impair decision-making. A senior who was perfectly lucid at the airport in the morning may become confused and agitated by nightfall in a foreign hotel room. They may forget how to use a key card, become suspicious of caregivers or hotel staff, or struggle to recognize familiar faces. For caregivers or travel companions, witnessing this change can be frightening and confusing. To an untrained eye, the symptoms may seem like early signs of dementia, but delirium is typically acute and reversible if managed promptly. Unfortunately, in chaotic travel environments, the condition can go unnoticed or be misdiagnosed, delaying treatment and increasing risk of injury or medical complications. Disrupted sleep is one of the primary triggers. Seniors are already more susceptible to poor sleep quality due to lighter sleep stages and more frequent awakenings. But throw in time zone changes, airport naps, uncomfortable hotel beds, and noise, and the impact becomes exponential. Sleep deprivation not only impairs cognitive function but also affects mood regulation and balance, further compounding the risk of confusion or falls. Research published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society shows that sleep disturbances are one of the strongest predictors of delirium in older adults, particularly when combined with other stressors like new medications or infections. If travel plans involve red-eye flights, early morning departures, or late check-ins, the resulting sleep fragmentation can trigger a domino effect of mental and physical decline within just a day or two. Another contributing factor is sensory overload. Airports, busy cities, loud group tours, and the simple act of navigating through new surroundings can overwhelm the senses, especially for seniors who may already experience hearing or vision impairments. Too much stimuli, especially when it's unfamiliar or unfiltered, taxes the brain's ability to prioritize information. This can lead to confusion, irritability, or withdrawal. In severe cases, the brain simply begins to shut down non-essential processing functions, which can present as blank stares, slowed responses, or incoherent speech. Environments filled with flashing lights, different languages, unpredictable weather, or unfamiliar signage can all contribute to a cognitive overload scenario that spirals into delirium if not recognized and managed. Dehydration and poor nutrition are silent enablers of this condition. Many older adults travel with decreased thirst response or dietary restrictions, and on top of that, travel itself often disrupts normal eating schedules. Missed meals, skipped water breaks, or unfamiliar foods that upset the stomach can cause electrolyte imbalances, which are known contributors to delirium onset. Seniors taking diuretics or certain blood pressure medications are especially vulnerable to this kind of imbalance, yet few travelers think to bring electrolyte supplements or hydration tablets in their carry-on. Adding to the problem is the common temptation to reduce fluid intake during travel to avoid frequent restroom visits. An understandable impulse, but one that comes with cognitive costs. The best defense is building predictability into an inherently unpredictable process. Wherever possible, maintain a structured daily schedule even while traveling. Try to preserve routines around meals, medication timing, naps, and bedtime. Bring items that support familiarity, like a favorite pillow, a small nightlight, or familiar snacks, to help ease the transition into new environments. These comfort anchors can offer more than convenience. They can serve as cognitive stabilizers, reminding the brain that it's safe and oriented. It's also smart to avoid overscheduling the itinerary. Trying to see 5 landmarks in one day or racing between cities may sound appealing on paper, but for seniors, it can be cognitively exhausting and physically dangerous. Instead, prioritize quality over quantity and build in generous breaks. Travel companions play a crucial role here. If you're a senior traveling with family or friends, make sure they are educated on the signs of travel-related delirium and know how to respond. Confusion, withdrawal, or dramatic personality changes are not signs of someone being difficult. They are signals of a potential medical issue. Addressing the situation promptly with hydration, rest, and possibly medical intervention can mean the difference between a small hiccup and a major emergency. It's also worth having a brief medical history and current medication list written down and stored in multiple locations in case assistance is needed quickly. Medical personnel unfamiliar with your baseline health need context to distinguish between pre-existing cognitive decline and sudden onset delirium. Finally, cognitive health can be strengthened before the journey begins. Engaging in brain-stimulating activities, staying physically active, and following a heart-healthy diet rich in omega-3s, leafy greens, and antioxidants all support brain function. The better your baseline brain health, the more resilient you'll be to the cognitive challenges of travel. Some travelers also use melatonin under medical guidance to ease the effects of jet lag and improve sleep consistency, though it should be approached cautiously. Mental preparation, visualizing the trip, rehearsing steps, or even reviewing photos of destinations, can also ease transitions and reduce anxiety, offering a mental map that feels familiar once you arrive. In the end, travel should invigorate, not destabilize. But for seniors, the risks to cognitive health are real and often hidden behind the excitement of new experiences. Awareness is not meant to scare, but to empower. By recognizing the signs of cognitive strain and taking proactive steps to minimize its triggers, older travelers can enjoy their adventures with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. The mind may take longer to adjust with age, but given the right support, it can still guide you safely through the wonders of the world. Environmental and climate challenges that impact aging bodies. Travel brings with it a promise of beauty and discovery, but it also comes with a silent challenge that many overlook: the environment itself. For seniors over 70, adapting to unfamiliar climates, air quality levels, and altitudes can strain the body in ways that are neither obvious nor immediate. The aging body is less efficient at thermoregulation, meaning it has a harder time adjusting to extreme temperatures, whether that's the sweltering humidity of Southeast Asia, the dry desert heat of the American Southwest, or the icy winds of a Nordic winter. In younger years, such environmental changes may have felt like an inconvenience. In later years, they can become legitimate health risks. According to the National Institutes of Health, older adults are at significantly greater risk for heat exhaustion, hypothermia, and dehydration, all of which can sneak up quickly in the middle of sightseeing, bus tours, or even brief walks outdoors. High temperatures, in particular, are a major concern. Seniors don't sweat as efficiently, which hampers the body's natural cooling mechanisms. Add in travel-related dehydration, tight clothing, or prolonged sun exposure, and the situation becomes dangerous fast. Heatstroke isn't just something that happens in deserts. It can occur during a summer day in Rome while standing in line for the Colosseum. What makes it worse is that seniors often don't feel the early signs until it's too late. Symptoms like lightheadedness, headache, and nausea may be brushed off as travel fatigue, when in fact they're signals of a body in distress. In addition, medications such as beta blockers, antihistamines, and diuretics can impair the body's ability to regulate heat or retain fluids, making even moderately warm days more taxing. Cold weather presents its own set of challenges. Older adults lose body heat faster and often don't shiver as intensely as younger individuals, which delays recognition of how cold they truly are. Peripheral circulation is also reduced in aging bodies, making the hands and feet particularly vulnerable to numbness or frostbite. Hypothermia can set in during longer outdoor exposures, especially if clothing is damp from rain or sweat. Even indoors, underheated buildings or drafty lodging can allow core body temperatures to drop dangerously without the traveler being fully aware. Seniors with arthritis may find their joints stiffen painfully in the cold, making even simple walking tours grueling and unsafe. Altitude is another environmental factor that many older travelers underestimate. Visiting high-altitude destinations such as Machu Picchu, the Rocky Mountains, or even certain parts of Europe like Switzerland can introduce altitude sickness, a condition caused by lower oxygen levels at elevation. While it can affect anyone, seniors with underlying respiratory or cardiac conditions are especially at risk. Shortness of breath, dizziness, and fatigue might be seen as normal consequences of travel, but they may indicate a lack of oxygen in the bloodstream. In severe cases, altitude sickness can progress to pulmonary or cerebral edema, both of which are medical emergencies. Travelers over 70 should always consult their physician before venturing to elevations over 5,000 feet and may require extra time to acclimate upon arrival. Air quality is another major factor often overlooked in travel planning. Pollution levels in major cities around the world can fluctuate wildly, and seniors with asthma, COPD, or heart disease may experience sudden flare-ups or breathing difficulties when exposed to smog, dust, or pollen. Cities like Bangkok, Delhi, or even Paris during certain months can see air quality index levels spike to hazardous levels. Carrying an N95 mask, portable air purifier for hotel rooms, or simply checking daily air quality reports can make a trip much safer for someone with respiratory sensitivity. Likewise, rural destinations that involve bonfires, unfiltered wood stoves, or even volcanic activity can worsen air quality without visible cues, leaving seniors gasping and uncomfortable before the source is even identified. Humidity and dryness both present unique problems as well. High humidity makes it harder for the body to cool itself, intensifying fatigue and water loss. Meanwhile, dry air, especially in airplanes or arid climates, can dehydrate skin, irritate eyes, and dry out the mucous membranes of the nose and throat, increasing vulnerability to infection. Seniors with dry skin conditions or eye disorders like glaucoma may find symptoms worsening in such environments. It's vital to stay moisturized, use eye drops if needed, and maintain fluid intake throughout the trip, not just when you feel thirsty. Portable humidifiers, nasal saline sprays, and soothing balms can go a long way in easing environmental discomfort. Terrain and physical demands are yet another hidden hazard. Uneven cobblestone streets, sandy paths, steep hills, or high-rise accommodations without elevators can pose a serious fall risk. The natural decline in balance and muscle strength after 70 means that what was once a picturesque trail can now be a treacherous route. Seniors should research not just what a destination looks like, but how physically accessible it is. Comfortable walking shoes with strong grip, trekking poles, or even choosing ground-level accommodations can make the difference between a trip that invigorates and one that injures. Many popular tourist sites provide accessibility guides, and taking the time to read them can prevent accidents before they happen. Preparation is key to weathering these environmental challenges. Seniors should travel with layered clothing to adapt quickly to shifting weather conditions. A wide-brimmed hat, Breathable fabrics, thermal underlayers, and waterproof outerwear should be part of any travel kit, regardless of destination. Sunscreen isn't just for the beach. UV radiation increases with altitude and reflects off snow, sand, and water, all of which can cause sunburns and elevate skin cancer risk. A broad-spectrum SPF of at least 30 should be worn daily, and lip balm with sun protection is equally important. Technology can offer invaluable support. Smartphone apps that track UV indexes, air quality, weather forecasts, and local emergency alerts can help travelers make safer decisions in real time. GPS and health monitoring wearables can keep tabs on vital signs, step counts, and hydration reminders, offering both peace of mind and data that can be shared with family or physicians if needed. Some apps even allow you to check altitude changes during hikes or drives, giving seniors the ability to monitor how quickly they're ascending and plan breaks accordingly. While the environment can feel like an uncontrollable factor, much of its impact can be mitigated with awareness and planning. For seniors, every destination poses a new challenge to the body's ability to regulate, adapt, and respond. But with smart strategies and a proactive mindset, these challenges don't have to ruin the experience. They can be met with confidence and care, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. The joy of discovering the world, safely and on your terms. Financial scams and safety threats specifically targeting elderly tourists. While travel offers unforgettable memories and cultural enrichment, it also exposes seniors to a category of risk that is often overlooked until it's too late. Financial scams and safety threats tailored to target older travelers. Across the globe, con artists and petty criminals have come to recognize that senior tourists, especially those traveling alone or as part of group tours, often carry cash, expensive medical equipment, or appear less digitally savvy. This vulnerability is not due to weakness or lack of awareness. It stems from generational habits, a trusting nature, and a worldview shaped before the digital age. Unfortunately, scammers count on exactly that. According to the Federal Trade Commission and International Travel Safety Reports, seniors are disproportionately affected by travel-related fraud and theft, not only because they may be less familiar with the latest scam tactics, but also because they often hesitate to report crimes out of embarrassment or fear of appearing incapable. One of the most common scams involves fake authorities. A person dressed as a police officer or customs agent may approach a senior traveler and demand to inspect documents or search belongings, often claiming there's a legal infraction or security concern. These impersonators use intimidation and confusion to pressure their target into handing over passports, wallets, or confidential information. Once the tourist complies, the scammer disappears. In foreign countries where language barriers complicate understanding, this tactic becomes even more effective. Seniors may not feel confident questioning an authoritative figure, and many prioritize compliance over confrontation, especially in cultures where respect for officials is deeply ingrained. In reality, real authorities will never demand cash on the spot or take your passport without formal paperwork. Another deceptive trick is the helpful local scheme. This involves a friendly stranger offering unsolicited assistance, perhaps at an ATM, train station, or museum. They may point out a lost item, offer to carry a bag, or help decipher a ticket machine. While some are genuinely helpful, others use distraction techniques to steal belongings or guide you into a setup where their accomplices are waiting. Seniors are often targeted because they may struggle with new technology, making them prime candidates for such cons. In particular, foreign ATMs and public transport kiosks can become confusion points that thieves exploit. Carrying a dummy wallet or using a money belt can reduce losses if you're targeted, and being polite without handing over control of your belongings is a simple but powerful deterrent. Pickpocketing is rampant in many tourist-heavy areas, and older adults are often marked due to slower reflexes or mobility issues. Crowded metros, busy markets, and bustling tourist sites offer cover for thieves who work in coordinated groups. Some will create distractions, a spilled drink, a crying child, or sudden jostling, to divert attention while another lifts a wallet or phone. Seniors using canes, walkers, or rolling luggage are particularly vulnerable, as their hands are already occupied. Investing in anti-theft bags with locking zippers and keeping valuables in front-facing pouches can significantly reduce risk. Beyond that, Being alert and walking with confidence can serve as an effective deterrent. Scammers often avoid those who appear aware and assertive, preferring targets who seem preoccupied or uncertain. Financial scams aren't always fast-paced. In some cases, seniors are slowly lured into longer cons, such as being overcharged at restaurants, guided into overpriced shops under the guise of a local experience, or sold fake goods at high prices. Taxi drivers may take the longest route or claim the meter is broken. In more sophisticated cases, scammers will convince seniors to provide card information or even bank access for hotel bookings, tour packages, or emergency assistance, only for the funds to vanish without a trace. Using prepaid travel cards with spending limits and avoiding sharing banking details over public Wi-Fi can mitigate these risks. It's also essential to notify your bank about your travel plans so any suspicious transactions are flagged quickly. Unfortunately, safety threats extend beyond financial manipulation. Seniors may be seen as easier physical targets for robbery, especially in remote areas or poorly lit streets. Opportunistic criminals look for individuals walking alone, distracted by maps or phones, or who appear lost. Avoiding travel after dark, sticking to populated areas, and staying aware of surroundings are basic safety principles that carry even more weight for older travelers. Choosing accommodations in safer neighborhoods, checking crime statistics beforehand, and asking hotel staff for safety recommendations should be standard parts of the travel routine. Carrying a small, non-lethal personal alarm can add an additional layer of security, offering both a deterrent and a call for help if needed. Online fraud also plays a significant role in travel scams. Fake travel agencies, phishing emails with bogus itinerary changes, and cloned airline websites can trap seniors who may be booking their travel online without realizing the site isn't legitimate. Always ensure websites begin with HTTPS, read reviews from trusted sources, and never click on suspicious links received via email. Better yet, consider using a travel agent who specializes in senior travel and understands the extra precautions needed for this demographic. These professionals can often vet hotels, transportation, and excursions for safety and reliability, removing much of the guesswork and reducing exposure to fraud. Before you leave home, share your itinerary with a trusted friend or relative. Let them know where you're staying, how to reach you, and when to expect check-ins. This isn't about surveillance, it's about creating a safety net. Should something go wrong or if you stop responding, someone back home will know how to act. Photocopy your passport, travel insurance, prescriptions, and important contact numbers and store them in a separate bag from the originals. If you lose your wallet or passport, this small step can shave hours off the recovery process. Consider storing copies securely in a cloud drive as well for remote access. Education is your strongest shield. Before traveling, read up on common scams in your destination. Many travel forums and government advisories list the latest tactics used in specific cities or countries. Awareness not only helps you avoid becoming a target, but also empowers you to act decisively if approached. If something feels off, trust your instincts. It's better to seem cautious than to become a victim. Traveling with a small group can offer additional protection, as scammers are less likely to target someone surrounded by attentive companions. If you do fall victim, report the incident immediately, not just to recover your losses, but to prevent the same tactic from being used on someone else. Traveling in your 70s and beyond should be filled with beauty, not fear. But safety is not something to be assumed. It must be actively maintained. With preparation, awareness, and the right precautions, you can safeguard not just your finances, but your confidence and independence. Every journey has risks, but with the right armor of knowledge, those risks can be neutralized, and the road ahead can remain open, inviting, and secure.